Christian Gilsman is a junior in urban planning. Brandon Ramos is also a junior in urban planning. Terry Wilson is a grad student in community planning, and I'm David Watkins, a sophomore in international affairs. So hopefully I'll be able to guide you on these topics. When we started to assess what was going on in the Madisonville district, business district, what the community vision was, and talking with the community council leaders, the business association, citizens at community council meetings, we came up with a problem that seemed to apply to the entire business district, and that was that the business district was losing investment, design integrity, and regional importance as a result of neighboring transportation and development trends. Here's Madisonville, here's Hyde Park. So with that premise, we established a vision statement for what we wanted to envision for the community, and that was to promote and facilitate investment by planning an environment that is context sensitive, encourages pedestrian activity, utilizes community preferred architectural standards by designing infill development that incorporates the best management practices prescribed by LEED, and we explored, our posters show the no action plan, that's just the current uses, and then we looked at form-based code as well as places.
All right, some of our design precedents that we wanted to keep in mind for both schemes, form-based code and a placemaking, and we'll get into it in a second why we gave two alternatives for the future of the core area of the business district. One is permeable sidewalks. We noticed that the health of the sidewalks through the corridor were extremely lacking and at times dangerous. Some of the street trees caused buckling in the concrete, so we proposed, we proposed rubber sidewalks, which allow a more permeable surface for rainwater and runoff to actually saturate the ground underneath those walkways to allow those the root systems to be more organic rather than suppressed, and then of course affecting the public environment, pedestrian environment. Public spaces in the street. We have two precedents here. One in England, Danbury Green, and a more local favorite, Hyde Park Square. The latter of the two, we use that more as a precedent for placemaking, which you'll see soon, in terms of actually rerouting some of the traffic and creating a public space within. Decorative sidewalks. We wanted to stay away from what you have seen in certain areas with actually brick-laid sidewalks in the path of traffic. That's an issue with maintenance. When they actually maintain the roadways, that can actually impede and even be costlier when you're constantly repaving or working around that brick-laid side crosswalk. So this is actually a Duratherm technology that was developed to actually lay over a pattern over the existing pavement, and it's compliant with ADA standards, which allows handicapped and disabled to more effectively traverse the roadway. And then aesthetic features. This precedent is from Sydney, Ohio. This is actually more in line with our form-based scheme, which you can see the street lights here are compliant with T5 standards and the Smart Code version 9.2 manual. And then traffic lights, actual suspended traffic lights that don't utilize the current scheme that you see these days, majority-wise in Cincinnati, which is just suspended by a wire. And then photovoltaic solar panels gives an opportunity for incentives to be pulled from the LEED-based infill that we're looking for. There are a lot of different programs like community reinvestment areas where in the city of Cincinnati, for either new or improvements for development, if you're going for a LEED certified project, you can get 100% of your taxes abated. So that is one scheme that we're looking at. And then physically separated bikeways. we looked at a plan to physically separate a bikeway based on a European idea in Midtown Manhattan, where instead of having your bikeway parallel and against the roadway, you actually have either a planted buffer or a parking lane as the buffer instead. And then you have your bikeway along with the sidewalk instead of with right-of-way traffic. And then community preferred architecture, which we outlined three notable buildings. This is a retail mixed-use establishment, Wetzel and Prentice. And then the Fifth Third, or the Savings and Loan building at Madison and Wetzel. And then, let's see, yeah, next slide. And then interblock shared parking. We felt that in order to enhance the viability of a multimodal, pedestrian-favored business district, we needed to eliminate a lot of the access points to private parking and in between lots. And then in doing that, that allows us to create infill opportunities with existing parking lots and access points.
I'll take over here. We proposed two design alternatives. The first one, form-based code, which was more in response to the community having, pushed that, and the studio in general pushing this as something that the community had wanted. And the second is a placemaking one, which is more beautification and making a place that's notable and people are going to know as a region. Next slide. I chose to do, form-based codes are adaptable. Any community can have them. Charrette Ross is usually the predecessor to it, so you can design a community, you can get some sort of community consensus on what they find as community-preferred architecture and so forth. We chose the Smart Code version 9.2 to do most of our design work. Here's some examples. We use two different districts, the T4 and the T5. The T5 is going to be at the intersection of Madison and Wetzel, and the T4 is the abutting neighborhoods. Next slide. Form-based codes, here's an example of it.